Alright, so what's up guys, welcome back to some more Apex. I hope you're having a very good day as always. Let's talk about legend buffs. It's no secret that in the past couple of seasons, the legend meta in this game has changed drastically from what it used to be. You know, every single season that Respawn drops, the legend meta just completely evolves, it completely changes. And let's take a look at season 3 and season 4, right? Legends back then that used to be considered top tier legends or S tier legends, some of them are now not so good, and the same thing can be said for legends who used to be trash. They're now very much usable and even effective in season 6. Let's take a look at, Mirage for example, or Bloodhound. Bloodhound is now one of the best legends in this game, so that just shows how, how much the legend meta is changing every single season. And I think we can expect to see a very similar trend going into season 7 when it does arrive. My only hope is that Respawn drops a patch that we all want to see, that we all want to play, because I mean, when season 6 first dropped, right, legends who really needed to get love, like Loba, even somebody like Pathfinder, those legends in season 6 didn't get the buffs, the upgrades that they needed to get. So I'm going to be talking about all of the legend buffs we could expect to see in season 7 based on common sense and also based on what Respawn has said and hinted at in the past. So if you guys are ready, as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. A lot of you guys watch my videos and don't hit that sub button for some reason. So if you guys want to help out your boy, a simple sub, a simple like goes a long way. So yeah, help me out, subscribe. Why not? It's free. I'd appreciate it a lot. For real, for real. Alright, so the first legend that we can expect to see get buffed in season 7, guys, is Pathfinder. Now, the reason I say Path, because I've made videos like this in the past where we all expect to see Pathfinder getting buffed, and Respawn does what they did in the recent patch, which in my opinion wasn't a buff. It was really a nerf, but that's a completely separate video. The reason I think Pathfinder is going to be getting buffed in season 7 is mainly because what Respawn said after, everyone responded to the recent Pathfinder update. Basically, all of the Pathfinder mains were upset, and everyone who really had, some kind of enjoyment playing Pathfinder in the past were upset as well. So Respawn basically responded and said that they're going to be taking into consideration the feedback, and they most likely will push out a patch very soon to kind of fix what they did wrong or just re-examine what they did in the recent patch. To me, this just spells out a buff, right? Because there's no way right now that Respawn would actually nerf Pathfinder again, especially after what they just did and the community feedback. I don't see Respawn taking a risk like that anymore, trying to make Pathfinder less, effective for good Pathfinder players. Because right now in Apex, if you're a very bad Pathfinder main, then most likely the changes won't affect you that much, because it's really intended to target, all of the good Pathfinder mains who get those long range grapples and slide momentum and stuff, right? That's really why Respawn decided to nerf Pathfinder in this patch. It was really targeted at the good Pathfinder players. So whatever Respawn decides to do in season 7 in terms of, buffing Pathfinder, most likely will make him not just good for, the bad Pathfinder players, but also for the good Pathfinder players as well. Will he be as good as he used to be in like season 2 and season 3 and stuff? Most likely not. I don't think Respawn would ever, put Pathfinder back in that situation, because he was really good back then, and because the overall skill level of everyone playing Apex has also improved since those seasons. If Respawn were to make Pathfinder that good again, he'd be even more dangerous in Apex. So we'll see what Respawn decides to do, but for now guys, look out for a Pathfinder buff when season 7 drops. Mark my words. Loba, guys, Loba is going to be getting a buff in season 7 as well. It's basically been confirmed by a dev. The only bad thing about this buff is that we don't know if the buff is going to be to her tactical, which is her bracelet, or her ultimate. Respawn has basically said in the past why they don't want to buff Loba's tactical ability. Basically because if Respawn decides to buff that, she most likely will become even more effective and potentially OP. And I think Respawn is afraid of making Loba too good in the game. Because if Respawn really goes overboard when they buff Loba and they buff her tactical too much, that could be one of the best, if not the best, positioning abilities to have in Apex, which will make Loba extremely good, maybe even too good in Apex, which is why Respawn is so careful about buffing Loba. Nevertheless, I still expect to see Loba get some sort of buff in this new season. She really hasn't been a top tier legend since she came in season 5, not even a top a 8 tier legend really. She's always been just kind of bubbling under, not really getting much love, not really being used much by the pros and stuff. She's never really been a really good legend to use in this game. Her pick rate has also been kinda trash. since she came in season 5. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get to see a nice little Loba buff in season 7. As I said, we're not sure what this buff would be. It could be a overall buff, it could be a rework, it could be her tactical getting buffed to her ultimate. We don't know for sure. All we know right now is a buff most likely will be coming very soon when season 7 is here, so look out for that. And for all of you Loba mains out there who still play Loba religiously and just love to play Loba, your time most likely is coming very soon as well, so hang in there. She might be really good in season 7. Now before I talk about the final legend who most likely will get buffed in season 7, let's take a look at 2 honorable mentions. So first up, we have Bangalore. The reason I think Bangalore needs to get buffed, or if she does get buffed, it'll be very well deserved, is because Bangalore hasn't gotten buffed or even touched, I would say, since season 2 or season 3, maybe even season 1, who knows. Bangalore has basically been the only legend in this game since she came out that hasn't really been, worked around, reworked, buffed, nerfed. She's basically been the same since Apex released. She isn't bad though, like she actually is a very good legend in ranked, in pubs. I actually watch Shiv play Bangalore on Twitch. She's actually really good with Bangalore, so you can be effective if you know how to use Bangalore smoke and position yourself in good areas. But I think rightfully, because so many other legends in this game have seen changes, it's only right to give Bangalore some sort of change, some sort of update because of the current state of Apex. Apex has gone through 7 seasons and Bangalore hasn't seen much change in all of these 7 seasons, so I'm sure Respawn could find something to do to make Bangalore more effective, and I think season 7 is also the perfect time to do so. So let me know if you think Bangalore needs to get buffed, and how would you actually go about buffing Bangalore if you were a dev at Respawn. Let me know. The second honorable mention on my list, guys, is Rampart. Now Rampart, to me, ever since she came out, was never my type of legend because she's very defensive, very passive, very laid back, and personally, guys, just speaking for myself, I can't play that type of gameplay, that type of play style in this game. It's just way too passive for me. But even if someone on my team likes to play passive, I would much prefer them to use somebody like Caustic or Watson or Gibby as opposed to using Rampart. And to me, that's a big issue because it kind of makes her useless in my opinion. You don't really see Ramparts being used in pro matches, in ranked. You only really see Ramparts being used in pubs, because basically what her role is in this game and what she's supposed to do, which is kind of like hold on one area, prevent enemies from rushing, because you have these Rampart walls up and you have shield and stuff. Caustic does that better, Watson even does that better, and I think there's just better options out there if you want to play defensively and passively in this game. I think Respawn also knows this, and I won't be shocked if we actually get to see a Rampart buff in season 7 as well. Even if Rampart is buffed, I still most likely will not use her because she's just not my my type of legend. But for you guys out there who like to use Rampart and this is your perfect playstyle, how would you want to see Rampart get buffed in season 7? Comment right now. Alright guys, so the very last legend I want to see get buffed in season 7. This legend is Octane. Now Octane is, I swear to God, one patch away from becoming my main, because Octane has this interesting position right now where he has extreme solo value, right? If you're playing solo in this game, you like to play by yourself, Octane is a very fun and effective legend to use. If you're playing ranked and if you have teammates who really want to play ranked with you, Octane is potentially one of the worst legends to use in this game because he has 0 team value. And to me, Octane is very contradictory because Respawn always talks about Apex being a team-based game. Solos won't work in Apex according to Respawn because it's a team-based game, right? But here we have a legend like Octane who has 0 team value. All of his usability, his effectiveness comes from playing as a solo legend, and to me that's a big flaw right there in Octane because he's not supposed to be like that. I think he should still have his solo value, but he should also have a bit more team value as well. Yes, your teammates could use Octane's launch pad to get into a better position or something like that, but there's still better legends you can use as opposed to using Octane for that same purpose, right? So I think Octane is also overdue for a very good update, a good buff, and again I think season 7 is the perfect time for Respawn to give us this buff, so you'll see. So that's it for me today, guys. Who do you want to see get buffed the most right now in this game? Is it Octane? Is it Loba? Is it Pathfinder? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I read all my comments. I want to see what you guys think, so don't be shy. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in some more Apex. Till next time.